everyone, it's Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming to you with Tuesday Talks. Yes, there is a little delay in filming this, but nevertheless, yes, it is the Halloween holiday. But the topic was geared towards that, and the topic was, and still is, there shouldn't be any tricks in selecting a senior living community. Let's discuss the 8 scenarios to avoid, and so you can be treated with dignity and respect as you should be. I'm going to go through the topics, and I'm going to refer to a lot of my writing because I don't want to miss any important issues. It is a very, very overwhelming time, and getting guidance at this time with your senior loved one is very, very critical. It is very, very helpful, but it gives you also a peace of mind that you have guidance. When you and your senior loved one have made the decision that a senior living community is a viable option for the future, yes, it is a life-changing event, very overwhelming, with all the options and very emotional as most seniors feel that they are losing their independence. Because of all this, most families delay the decision-making of selecting a senior living community, worried that they will make the wrong choice. Having a senior advisor and advocate, such as myself, who will not only assist you with the journey and broaden your insight, but will also truly navigate you in finding what is appropriate for your senior loved one. Yes, I will guide you as to what to do and what steps to take while researching senior living options, but I also will assist you in what not to do. Here are 8 common mistakes that families should avoid when searching for a senior living community. Number 1, very detailed, choosing a senior living community that is your liking versus your senior loved one. There's many choices out there, and a lot of people don't know that there is choices, and some of them are very evident, that they need to have a specific license and they have to be appropriate for your loved one. But a lot of people don't realize there's also not the larger buildings, brick and mortar, but there's residential care homes with small ALFs as well too, and a lot of people don't realize that is an option. There are many times as an adult child chooses a senior living community that appeals to them instead of considering what the senior loved one would like, such as a community that is modern, elaborate with new chandeliers, special dining, and heated pool, yet their senior loved one wants more of a traditional home-like environment and never had the desire to go swimming anyway. I encourage you, the family, to get your senior loved one more involved as possible in the decision-making process. But if a senior loved one cannot tour these senior living communities with us as a group, we must consider their needs on what I call the 4 pillars of needs is financial, medical, social, and spiritual first. Then we can concentrate on all the options. So it's best laid plans is what I'm saying. What you think that your parents likes, but this is something that we need to discuss with your senior loved ones, is what we are attracted to as being a younger generation, a more modernized facility might not be something to their objection or their options of liking. 2, choosing a community that is inappropriate for your parents' current needs. As I mentioned above, the 4 pillars of needs, financial, medical, social, and spiritual, should be reviewed and assessed for where your senior loved one is currently and into the future, where they can age in place. A lot of people don't consider that. And sometimes going to a senior living community, you are approached for what they need now and what they can afford now, but we don't look into the future. And that's something, unfortunately, I'm one of very few that do that, is that we look at it now so that that person can age in place. So what is appropriate for now is just as important as it is for their future. We do not want to transition a couple of months from now, a year from now, because the transitioning is really difficult as well too, and it's costly. Please consider, although you might have a thoughtful plan for your senior loved one, you now have to make a decision for them not as once you knew them, but now as to what they have become. So again, it is very important that we consider what's on the future horizon for our senior loved ones. If somebody has short-term memory loss and they will have to be in a memory care community, and that is not available in the selection that you first looked at and wanted for them, and they wanted for them. And guess what? As they age and as the progression of their memory declines, I'm gonna have to move to another community that has memory care on board. 3, not being realistic about current or future needs. This is not only something that I'm guiding you on, and this is something that their physician is guiding you on, is being very realistic of their medical needs. Somebody that has COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, that they are on, not right now they're on oxygen, but there might be. So that's something that you want to consider there forward. Congestive heart failure, that they have retain fluids in their lower extremities. So they're not going to be walking as much maybe in the future. Something to consider. Somebody that is diabetic now that might be just on pill form, but might be having a need for insulin. Something to think about, because not every assisted living or senior living community is license appropriate that they can actually be there to administer insulin or take care of the oxygen when your loved one cannot. So these are all very much considerations, is now that we have to look at it with also their physicians that know them very well, diagnostically as well, and approach it as a team approach, because it does take a village, but we have to be very realistic. As we age, our comorbidities become very heightened. So there is more of a decline as well. So we have to really consider what is now very realistic, but where they're going to need their care in the future. And using a local, like I could talk for myself, senior living advisor, senior advocate, it's much different than using an online placement company. They don't really know what these facilities or communities offer, their licensure, if there is deficiencies in them as well too. They set you on a tour that you're going alone, and they really don't know the whole component. The person that you might be speaking to on the phone might not even be local to you. They might be in another state. So they really don't know what's going on in that community totally. I have very much of a philosophy that I really look at every community very, very detailed wise. And the reason why I say that is because I don't disappear. I'm there through the whole process and then after. And my philosophy as the golden rule is to treat my senior loved ones and my seniors with respect and dignity as I would want to be treated myself. So that golden rule goes a lot farther than most in their proposals to you. Doing it alone. Doing it alone is very difficult. I mean, you could definitely Google assisted livings, and unfortunately, you don't know a lot about it. I'm there also to guide you to say what is appropriate, not, I don't want to say waste time, but not go to some place that you might be attracted to and it's not appropriate. We set up tours, and I demand the time that we set up tours that we get undivided attention, and I guide you through it. I also negotiate. So there is a plus to having me by your side. Tour day is very important. You are equipped with a golden folder that you taking notes. After each tour, we go outside to discuss it, so it's still fresh in our minds. And then I'm there for the process as well. You know, the downsizing, the moving, all that, I'm with you along the way. So doing alone, there's nothing to lean on. I have big shoulders, and if not, I just broaden them, is the fact that I will be there with you on this journey. So you're not doing it alone. Number 5, judging a book by its cover. Again, the best read book is but the dated cover and one cover. That means it's been well absorbed and utilized. Just because something looks beautiful from the outside doesn't mean that it is appropriate or beneficial for your senior loved one. Again, you'll hear me say it a lot of the times, I don't care about the baby grand piano, chandeliers. I care about the care that is rendered to your senior loved one. So don't be distracted by sometimes the amenities that your senior loved one might not be utilizing, or the overall ambiance of the facility. Most important that I am going to narrow it down with you is the care. That is utmost important, okay? So, also a home-like setting makes a difference as well, and that sometimes tends to be in the smaller community, so it's not so large or hard for your senior loved one to navigate through as well. Number 6, making a decision too quickly. I'm not impulsive. I know you're not impulsive with your plans for your life as well too. When you purchased your first home, you went through a lot of detail. When you were purchasing your first car, you went through a lot of detail. You wanted to know the pros and cons of purchasing such an item. This is just as important. The good part about with contracting with a senior living community, it is not forever. It's month to month is contract, so you're not abiding by a yearly lease. You're not constricted to a time period. But what I'm saying is you don't want to be impulsive. We want to really look at the landscape and seeing what is important, meaning their needs now into the future, and we're not making a quick decision, because this is a very big decision as well. Not reading the fine print. This is where that's number 7, this is where I guide you, is about contractual. Like I mentioned, that you're not signing a year lease. There is a lot of negotiating that could be on the table as well, that I am there with you. But some of the legalized matters are very important, like any contract is, that when you purchase your home, there's legalities to that, and signing contracts and all. So this is something that I guide you along with as well too. And if it's something that I can't help you, I am definitely going to get you a resource that the legal tender will be with an attorney appropriately, and to protect you and your senior loved one and your whole family's general interest as well. Number 8, overplaying the importance of proximity. I go through this a lot with my clients, and some families want their senior loved one to be very close to them. And maybe in a different state, maybe in a different county, a different region. Realize you're leaving a network of their medical, so now you're changing over again and starting new. But also, you know what? Sometimes you have to broaden the horizons, where there might be a more of appropriate facility in the next town, next county. So your loved one shouldn't be inconvenienced by any means, that there is options out there, maybe a little distance away from you. You will have a peace of mind if you're you're selecting the right community and you have open communication with them. It doesn't mean that it has to be next door or across the street. That you have a peace of mind because of the open communication, and it's easy for you to get to them rather than being close to you. So that is really, really important. I've just recently placed two lovely ladies, and it was out of county, and it was something that was more appropriate for their needs, as opposed to them living in a senior living community close to their homestead. But having a peace of mind, knowing that what was selected is actually better for the family, because now they know that their senior loved one is being taken care of. As always, a lot of these questions and tricks of the trade, or being treated appropriately is something that we can discuss. I'm there to help you along the way. I actually am a certified assisted living administrator. I got that certification, so I know the rules and regulations amongst the industry. So that's something that I could parlay over to you during this whole process. But I do not want you to know that you can do it alone, but it's easier to lean on somebody that has that expertise and has been doing it for a long period of time. So with that being said, I'd love you to go to my website. It is www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you will find my demographics, my bio, testimonials, various options, resources, and a whole library of all these video talks that you could go back on and different topics that we discuss on Tuesdays. So without further ado, happy Halloween. Make sure that you get treated right and not tricked into something, and let's do this together. I'm here to provide you the assistance that you need for your senior loved one, and I appreciate the honor of doing so. Thank you for viewing Tuesday Talks. Have a safe and happy Halloween. And more importantly, I will see you next week. It will be Tuesday Talks, and it will be in November, the month of thankfulness. So we will have a lot of topics that we'll be talking about. Bye-bye now. Have a blessed one and a safe one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.